Good afternoon. It's Sunday the 20th of January, 2 o'clock or thereabouts, and I'm back on the footpath, and I've driven down this morning from Wells in Somerset to here, and I've got time to make a start on making some progress on what's going to be a very difficult area to cover. And I'm heading at the moment for Mayo, which is at the other side of the River Yelm to where I left last Wednesday afternoon, the day before Ralph and Mel left for Swansea, and I drove up north to Grimsby, also to have the van MOT'd, new tyres, and one or two small electrical problems that needed doing quite desperately. This walk I'm doing now is going to be around about maybe a 1-2 hour walk, and then I can move the van further along the coast heading towards Torbay, and I'll do another circular walk, which is the only way to do it, and it might need a third one depending how far I get, because one of the problems of this particular section, in fact right along this part of the coast, is estuaries. The next kind of civilization that I come to will be at Bigbury-on-Sea, which is a small town probably about say 10-12 miles east of here, and from there I'm going to be back on the bus grid, and things will become easier. But in between time I've just got to do it this way. There's no other way at all. I'm hoping that someone might be able to help me out with lifts and that kind of thing. And I did meet a guy the other day, Colin, who would like to walk with me. And I've tried to contact him on the internet and left some messages, but he's not available now. So I'm just having to carry on and do my best. And already I'm missing Ralph, who thoroughly enjoyed being with me for walking. I haven't had a chance yet to calculate how far Ralph and I actually walked in the 7 days we were together, but I would estimate that it would have been somewhere in the region of 70 or 80 miles, but I'll check that out and confirm it. So here we go. So this is the east bank of the River Yelm, and across there you can see where I finished on Wednesday afternoon, and it looks just the same. The tide's well in at the moment, but it's absolutely dead quiet. You could hear a pin drop here. Fabulous place, and what wonderful scenery. As you'll see from the clouds, it was sunny earlier, but it's clouding over a little bit, but it's warm. It's around about 10 degrees, I would say, something like that, which was far warmer than when I went to Grimsby. It was like about -3. There was ice on the ground. It was really cold, and I was hanging about in a garage for all day Friday, and I really did get cold, really cold. But as I was saying earlier, I got the job done, and I was very pleased about that. So now all I have to do is walk back to the van, and that's probably going to be about maybe 3 miles, and I've got quite a steep hill to climb. So I'll see you later. Well, it's 4 o'clock now and I'm just about a few hundred yards away from the car park where I started, where I'll probably spend the night. I was considering moving further along the coast, but it seems a pretty good place to be, and the internet signal is good as well. And then I'll be planning out my day for tomorrow, and I'm just making my way east and looking forward to getting back to some, where there's some little villages and towns and resorts, that kind of thing. A bit more things going on really. But it's been a nice walk. The weather's lovely. Certainly a lot better than the north. It was surprisingly cold. And yesterday when I drove back down, like a 400-mile journey really, I went through all weathers. It was sunny one minute, it was snowing at Nottingham, it was foggy going past Birmingham, and that was the only traffic delay I had, and it was a pretty clear run. It was great, and I did everything that I set out to achieve, and it was never going to be one of these breaks where I was visiting people and all that stuff. It was just get the van sorted and get back down here, and I'm very pleased that I did it. The van's in good nick now, no problems, driving brilliantly with its new tyres, so I'm very, very happy. Good morning. It's Monday the 21st of January, and here I am at Mothercombe waiting for a bus which I'm not sure is actually going to arrive. I drove up here this morning from where I parked last night at the Warren, and as you saw earlier, at the crack of dawn. It's a very nice morning. It's very, very still. You could hear a pin drop. There's no wind. It's fabulous. Going to be a fabulous walking day. Not so good tomorrow. I think we're going to have some rain, but I'm always in this kind of nervous situation here where I've made a lot of effort to get here, bang on time, all the rest of it. I've been here for probably over half an hour, and it's due, the bus is due at 8:58, and it's now about 9:05, so I'm beginning to wonder if I'm wasting my time. And I've spoken to 2 other people who are parked up here to take the dogs for a walk, who are local people, and they seem to know the score, and they've told me to wait here. But they're still very ambiguous. The internet doesn't give you enough information, and certainly the Ordnance Survey map doesn't help. I drove right down into the estate, down a very steep hill, and had a hell of a job getting back up the hill because the road was damp and wet, and probably it's a very good job I've got my new tyres on, because I don't think I'd have made it with my old ones. But these are the problems you get, and this is where it becomes difficult, frustrating, and sometimes I wonder why the hell I'm doing this. But I've just got to wait and see, and wait in hope. Well, that was a bit of quick thinking. I had to dash from Mothercombe to Battersby Cross, and I just got the bus just in time. I'll just have to accept that the information on the internet was pretty crap, to be honest with you, but I made it by the skin of my teeth, so that saved me an awful lot of time and messing around today. I'm very pleased with myself that I thought very quickly about that just then. Well, it's 1:15 now and I made it to Mothercombe beach, and so now all I've got to do is walk 1 mile to the crossroads where I caught the bus. Interestingly, I spoke to 3 local people this morning and not one of them knew whether the bus ran from here or not, and all three, well, one said, oh yeah, you'd be okay, 8:58, no bus. And when I got on the bus at the crossroads, a mile away, I asked the driver, don't you actually go to Mothercombe beach? He said no. So it goes to show how much the local people know about the bus service, and therefore assume that they would never use it even if there was one. but there's only one passenger on it, one lady, and I was talking with her, and we were talking about I was talking about going to Salcombe, and she said the place is absolutely deserted, so it sounds a little bit like Polperro to me. But I've done a good walk. It was quite easy until the last probably mile and a half, and then it got a bit bumpy, but it was a good walk. And now all I've got to do is go and retrieve the van and drive across to the other side of the river. Well, I've just jumped into my cosy little van because it's started to rain quite heavily, and the weather forecast for tomorrow is going to be much the same. It's not a very good forecast, and so I'm probably going to be off the road now until Wednesday. It's been an enjoyable day. I've thoroughly enjoyed the walk. It was lovely. Got a little bit hilly towards the end, as I said earlier, but nevertheless it was good. I've driven into Bigbury-on-Sea and had a look at that, and I was going to sort of wild camp down there on the beach, or near the beach on the car park, but I've learned now to check the internet signal first, and there isn't an internet signal. There's no telephone signal either, and so I've moved just slightly inland, just at the other side of Bigbury, and found a nice little pub to park on their car park. I can go and have a beer later on. There's a shop just across the road, so I might be here for the next day and a half, depending on the weather. But it's cosy, and as I say, there's things going on around me. I'm not too isolated, and it's a very good internet signal. So that's it for now. Well, it's 7:45 now, and I couldn't resist coming into the pub and talking to the manager, or the owner, I'm not sure which yet, Rob.
Rob, yeah.
And we're at the Pickwick Arms, and where is the Pickwick Inn, and where is the Pickwick Inn?
Pickwick Inn's in St Anne's Chapel in South Devon, near Bigbury.
Yes.
TQ7 4HQ, if you want to put that in your sat nav.
Yeah. Because I went down to Bigbury-on-Sea earlier, and apart from the fact that I didn't like the look of the parking and you had to pay for it, there's no internet signal and there's no phone signal, yeah. and for what I really need that, it's really important to me. Yeah. But you know, this is a fantastic place you've got here. How long have you been here, Rob?
Just a year and a half.
And where's the accent from?
From Essex.
I suspected that. Whereabouts in Essex?
A place called Buckhurst Hill on the London-Essex border.
Right. You was telling me just a few minutes ago, we was having our first pint. You've had some adventures yourself. Where have you been?
Flew off a few years ago. Flew off to Bangkok and travelled all around Southeast Asia, and did boat trips down the Mekong and Vietnam, and then flew off to Australia, Darwin. Yes. And then travelled all the way from the top end, all the way down to the bottom end, down to the Great Ocean Road, and the 12 Apostles. Yeah. And then from there went back to Sydney, and then flew off to Hong Kong. Yeah. And stayed there, travelled in all over China. Yeah. And stayed with my future wife. It was a Canadian teacher living in the middle of China. Wow. Yeah, so she's been there for about 7 or 8 years, and and then from there sort of flew back to London, photographed a friend's wedding, and then back over to Vancouver. Yeah. Met Carrie, like my wife there, and then sort of travelled all Canada, and then down the States, right down to Vegas, California. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so it took me a year, so that was a good trip.
Yeah, I'll bet. That's a real adventure, that is, isn't it? Yeah. That's terrific. I mean, do you do any walking and stuff like that then?
No, I haven't had, well, I do when I was in Essex, used to do walking, but I haven't had a chance to do any here because I'm working all the time in this lovely pub.
Yeah. And obviously, I mean, we're sort of in the middle of winter. I can't believe the weather, you know, and this is why I'm here. I'm just following as much of the sun as I can. I mean, I got sunburnt the other day. Even today, I took my hat off, and you could feel it, you know, and it's been like this since I remember getting to Christmas to Lizard Point. And it rained, I think, on Christmas Eve, and that's the last time it rained before today.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah. I mean, there are a lot of people who come here from up north who sort of come down just to sort of rent a house down here for a few months, see if they like it. And there's quite a lot of people now. Like say, it's so much warmer down here.
Yeah.
So they sort of like think, we're going to stay here.
Well, it's a big attraction, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, and you look at the weather map, you know, on the BBC, like I did and everywhere was like minus, but like Cornwall and the southwest corner was like 11.
Yeah. Well, that's why we've got palm trees here.
Yeah, precisely.
Yeah. So you know, I think as the Gulf Stream comes straight up and comes past, you know, the bit that sticks out in the Atlantic.
Yeah. Oh well, that's really interesting. And so, I mean, how was the pub going?
It's been good. You know, it's sort of a bit of a quiet period now, obviously after Christmas.
Yeah, of course.
But we're sort of set up for the summer, and the place is heaving in the summer.
Yes.
You know, because all the holiday makers.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
But you're in a good position here, aren't you?
Yeah, it's a good position. You know, everyone who goes to any of the beaches here have to go past the Pickwick Inn.
Yeah.
So which is good, and you know, and we're getting good reviews on TripAdvisor and you know on Facebook.
Well, that's excellent. You've got a nice big car park.
Yeah, and I don't know whether you saw it yesterday, but I put a thing on Facebook about camper vans being able to park out the back.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So I'm your first
you're
one.
First one, yeah.
Well, there is a site for it actually, and I wild camp most of the time, obviously because there's hardly any sites open at this time of year.
Yeah.
And that's why I've had my van done, so I can use that generator rather than plugging into the mains.
Yeah.
And you pay dearly for that.
Yeah.
And I like to go on them because you need a shower, you need to wash clothes and all this kind of stuff. But this roof camping, I love it.
Yeah, that's a beautiful thing to do.
You know, it's just amazing, really. I've probably 25% of the whole trip has been on sites.
Yeah.
But another reason I did, you know, this part of the world is you wouldn't get on a site in the summer here.
Yeah, that's right.
You know, just like I am, where it's more or less day at a time. You just wouldn't be able to do it.
Yeah.
They'll be all booked up by February, March.
Yeah. Yeah, well, what we were sort of talking about, like, was with my wife, you know, talking to her yesterday, and she was saying that, you know, maybe in the summer, because the car park will be full with holiday, you know, families coming here to eat. But with the camper vans, if they want to sort of start taking up spaces around about 8 o'clock, you know, 8:30 at night, and they're welcome to stay there, and you know, we'll sort of put a few more facilities out there for campers.
Yeah, that'd be great. I mean, you know, I don't know about whether you would get permission or planning permission, but like hook up would be an absolute send to everybody. They all like hook up. Yeah. You know, without turning it into a proper campsite, if you understand what I mean. But you know,
it'd be handy for, you know, if anyone needs it.
When I say hook up, that means the electric mains. You know what I mean? Everybody seems to really want that, and it is important. It'd be really crucial to me if I could use it all the time. It'd be easy, but you can't. It's as simple as that. You know. You know, there's only a handful of sites opening in this area, you know, like off season, you know.
Yeah.
But look, it's been lovely talking to you, Rob.
And you.
Talked to you all night. You're a lovely bloke.
Yeah, and you, thanks, Jim.
And I'm going to get a few shots of your pub, and I'm ready to order my fish and chips.
Right, okay. I'll put that through for you.
Nice one, mate.
Lovely, thank you.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers, mate.
Yeah,
thanks.
thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you.